Welcome to Letterboxbookclub. Book Club. My name is Claire.
And I'm Mackenzie.
And today we will be discussing the second book in Lauren Ash's Dirty Air series, Collided.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! So this book is from Sophie and Liam's point of view. For those that are following along at home, those characters are introduced in book 1 and we follow along their journey.
Shall I start us off with the blurb?
It would be fantastic of you to start us off with the blurb.
Liam is Formula One's golden boy, but he's nothing but a fraud. Charming, devious, seductive, and someone who promises to fulfill all my naughty bucket list items. I force him behind the safe lines of the friend zone. Instead of accepting our friendship, he strikes a deal. 1 season, 1 list, 1 dirty secret. Liam Zander. Sophie is my greatest fantasy brought to life and a major threat to my contract renewal. She's a part of the rival team and someone I should resist at all costs. Everyone is against our friendship. My boss, her dad, me. Yet I'm captivated by her and the naughty list she created. Screw platonic, I want catastrophic.
Ooh, love that. See, like, the blurbs are relatively good. Alrighty, thoughts, feelings, and emotions.
You can start.
I will happily go first. I don't want to just say it outright, you know. I'm going to build up to it.
I did in House of Night.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. Look, yeah, I DNF'd this book at like 22 or some percent in, if I want to be absolutely precise. I don't know, I was just in a very unforgiving mood when I was reading it. I don't know, it was just, actually, I do know why it was giving me the shits, but it had a very promising start. Like, I enjoyed the first couple of chapters, but it's just the way Liam talks about women, or talks about Sophie, and just talks about how he has to keep his dick out of the fucking media. He said it like 5 times in the span of like 2 chapters to different people.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop you there.
I know,
and just say don't go too far into that because I want to circle back to like why we DNF books as a whole.
That's okay. Yeah.
And I feel like that's going to work into that.
All right, cool. But yeah, anyway, I'll turn it back.
Yeah.
It had a very promising start. I didn't think this age gap between these characters also ticked me off a little bit. I think it was a bit bigger than Noah and Maya's, maybe, I think. I don't know, that sort of ticked me off. Yeah, I don't know, it had a very promising start because we get the tragedy in the beginning and it's like, how is that going to work into his character? And then, whatever. I completely, just fucked up my train of thought. So yeah, and I think there must have been a sign on TikTok as well, because like, I saw TikToks of people being like, these are the books that I've DNF'd, like popular book talk books, and their reasoning is just like, this character's annoying, I didn't like this, I didn't like that, and I feel like I'm such a again, like, easily impressed by how people can publish a book and stuff, but I'm not very strict on what ticks me off as much, but this book really did it. So I DNF'd it. I tried really hard. When I put it down to have to go to work and stuff, I really did not want to pick it back up. Yeah, that's it from me. Okay. I might redo this segment later or something by myself. Okay. All right, what about you, Kenzie?
So I think we had spoken and you're like, I'm going to DNF it.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's fine. And then I was like, okay, well, if Claire thinks it's that bad, then I trust her judgment and I'm going to DNF it as well.
Oh, no. Followed my lead.
Yeah, and like I started it and then I was like, oh, like I'll finish listening at work or whatever. Like I was like, I'll audiobook it. And then, you were like, I've DNF'd it. And you were already a little bit ahead of me anyway. So when I had made the decision to DNF it, that decision was made at 2%.
You didn't even give it a chance, Kenzie.
And you're like, well, how far in are you? And I was like, oh, not very far, like a couple of chapters maybe. But I don't even think I made it to the 2nd chapter.
Jesus
I'm in
Christ.
the prologue. I'm in Sophie's prologue.
Oh my god. You're at the birthday party, which is... But yeah, like, this is the thing, like, I feel like I have to give the book a chance, so I push through what's annoying me. But then, I was just in an unforgiving mood. I'm like, I don't like how Liam was talking about XYZ. I don't like any of this. Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah.
But like, Throttled was fine. I don't know. It was just fine. Because we got to highlight these characters a bit more in Throttled. So like, and the fact that it's about them, and so everything they say and do and their personality is more amplified in their solo books. I think it's just what ticked me off as well the most. Not Sophie. Sophie was fine. I do have qualms, but are you okay? You almost choked.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the recipe of a good potty if you have to choke while we're recording. It's great. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, just Liam's character, pissed me right off. But yeah, okay, hopefully this is all worth it. I feel bad if you followed my lead for nothing and you could have enjoyed this book. I don't know. I'm sure the book is great. It has some great points, but yeah. I just couldn't get past Liam.
Anyway, that's fine. So what this episode ultimately is, we have led you on in saying that it's going to be Collided, but it is actually going to be DNFing books and why we do not finish books.
Yeah, for sure.
Because very rare that happens. So, yeah, did you want to talk about like a little bit more specifically, like why you did not finish this book, and then we'll like other books and things like that?
Through the scope of the potty, this is the first book I've DNF'd. And yeah, you're always worried about what are we going to talk about in the episode then. But yeah, like I just had to do it. I just couldn't deal with it. Yeah, again, I was just in a really unforgiving mood. I don't know. But yeah, and as I was just saying before, like you see book talk creators talk about reasons why they DNF books as well, and it's like, oh, I don't like the main character, I don't like the setting, like this particular word could have ticked me off, and therefore like they're very blasé about how they DNF books and their reasonings behind it. I always feel like I have to give it at least a really good hard chance before I DNF book, or I don't know, I just feel bad if I don't DNF it. But I was very strong-willed in this sense. But yeah, there could be many reasons someone could DNF the book. Yeah, it could be like the character name could sound super silly in the world that it's created, and you're like,
but like specifically like you, like what makes you DNF a book?
Oh, just this book in general.
This book, or like any book, like what would make you like?
I feel like specifically in this book, as I've just said, it's the reuse of phrases, like the overemphasis that a character is a fuckboy or something like that. Like we get it. Hang on, I'm going to see. What chapter did I get up to? Because again, we meet I'm going to do specifically about this book, I guess. Yeah. Because we meet Liam in the first book, and through Noah and Maya's perception, like it's revealed he's like one of the biggest fuckboys in the Formula One circuit, and like, cool, that's fine. Yeah. We learn that way also through how Noah interacts with him and how Maya talks to him and how he just talks about, like on their first date and everything like that. They always talk about their reputations. Yeah. Actually, I lie. My phone says 17%. I feel like I got further than that. Oh, well, I got up to chapter 7 initially. But yeah, actually no. Chapter 8. Okay, not too farther ahead. Yeah, it's just the overemphasis of Liam being a fuckboy, and like we understand that he sleeps around because it's what he is, and he's almost 30 as well. Like, what's with these almost 30-year-olds? Yeah. Messing around
because their brains aren't developed.
That's no fucking excuse. The frontal lobe, 25. It should click, should it not?
I think for men it's 28.
All right, whatever. Yeah. Anyway,
but still,
just for this example, Liam has said so many times in the 7 chapters that he has to get his dick out of the media, because I got to the point where his contract was within question because, one, he slept with the boss's niece, and she is like bad mouthing him to the media, whatever. Yeah. You shouldn't hook up, so close to whoever pays your checks, right? But so he's got that issue, and he's just like, he has a meeting with like Jackson, somebody else, and he's like, I got to keep my dick out of the media. His inner monologue to himself, I got to keep my dick out of the media, and it's just, it drives me crazy. And then he's talking to Sophie, so he realizes he, needs to have a straight set this tournament, whatever. But then when his point of view is about Sophie and how he thinks about her and talks about her, and she has a fuckable body, or at least now that she's not 18 or something, she has a fuckable body. It was just gross. And it was like, I don't get it. Like, you're not as like strong-willed if you're really set on having such a straight, fresh year. Yeah. But then you think about Sophie in this way and you want to like fuck her in this sort of way. And it's like, I was overwhelmed and pissed off, and that's why I DNF'd this book. But obviously, and in general, there are many reasons why. It could be just like from a point of view perspective, like if it's first person, third person, blah, 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 depending on someone's general aesthetic and how they like to read. I'm going to be honest, I never really liked first point of view until I read Akatar. I was always the third person type of gal, but then I think a lot of the books we read is first person these days. Yeah. Many reasons. So yeah, that was just my reason, like just the way, and like too much swearing, I guess, sometimes.
Yeah.
I understand if it's like a dark romance or like a smut-based book, like there's going to be a lot of like dirty talk, like that's fine.
Yeah.
But like there's just so much almost unnecessary swearing, and it's like, ugh, it drives me crazy. Same with this book. Oh, and there was something that Jack said in this book that pissed me off as well.
Oh?
There's a part where they're talking about, they were practicing driving their cars so they can like tune it up and all that type of stuff. And then I think their manager asked Jax how the car was, and he's like, oh, smoother than my last fuck or something like that. And it's like, we get it, you're fuck boys, but like, do we have to overly emphasize? It's pissing me off. And yeah, so there we go. I'm done with my rant.
What?
So what makes you DNF books, Kenzie? Or it could be this book in general. Oh, I suppose, yeah, you can't.
I haven't read this book, so I don't know about it.
You don't know what happened at all.
Yeah, I can't even remember Liam. What's his name? Is it Liam? Yeah, Liam's prologue. So, oopsies.
Jesus Christ.
I will, DNF if I think the plot is ludicrous, like in House of Night when it brought in the bulls and stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, no, this is stupid. Like, I don't think this is a valuable plot point.
I thought it was cool, personally.
I'm like, this is too far. Like, and then another, like, when the first time I read ACOTAR, I read like all 4, and then I got to 5, and yes, suddenly it was from Nesta's point of view or whatever. And she had been a character that had been built up to be hated essentially, and she wasn't a very likable character. And I was like, okay, well now I have to slog through this book. And I think I got a few chapters in and I stopped on my first read. And then on my second read, I was like, okay, well I need to read the whole thing. And I did. My second one, and I really enjoyed it, and now I can see things. But also, it was tough with that one, and then also in any series when there's a drastic writing style switch up.
Yep.
So that can really get me, and then if that's too juxtaposing, then I will DNF. And then also when recurring characters aren't acting like as their character, so in like Spanish Love Deception and American Roommate Experiment, like the Rosie you meet in Spanish Love Deception is not the Rosie you meet in American Roommate Experiment. And I can understand from, different people's perspectives on how different people act, but it was pretty much like the same perspective. It was like, this is not who you introduced me to in this book. So when things like that happen, so I don't know if Noah and Maya are in this book, but that would have been one thing that I would have to look out for, like are they still characterized the same way or are they completely different?
I will tell you, from what I've read, this book sort of overlaps the first book in Throttled as well. Like, so they talk about going on that double date, and there are moments where, there are overlapping moments, but it's strictly from, like, Liam's point of view and what he's thinking and feeling in that moment.
Yeah.
So it would be a slight... So I would have assumed Noah and Maya are pretty much the same characters, because a lot of it is the same scenes, but just and same dialogues, but just in Liam's point of view.
And then... I really, and I didn't know that this series did it, I really don't like it when you have a series and you introduce, 8 or 10 characters in the first book and then all the other books are about different characters, because it's like, no, like you've built up this story in this first book. It's like you could have stretched it out more and used that as like the series instead of introducing all these other characters. Whereas I think stories in the same universe work really well, like the fairy tale ones or the Disney ones that we're doing at the moment.
Oh yeah, like the dark
like Twisted
retellings.
And Scarred and blah blah blah, Hooked, like the dark fantasy, because they're all standalone, but they're all like thematically similar.
They translate well.
Yeah, so you get it. What else was I going to say?
I realized I completely misunderstood your statement with like, tell us what makes you DNF a book. I'm just silly in that sense, but I would agree, like changing of writing styles for sure, especially in ACOTAR when they had the big switch from first point of view to essentially third person point of view, but still it was about Cassian and Nesta, blah blah. And then it started being like a PG, like M15 sort of dialogues, and then suddenly they're saying the word cunt in the last book and all that stuff. Very off-putting and jarring almost.
And it's almost like again, in these books that there's no warning that they're going to be about different characters or whatever. And it's like, why didn't, like,
Oh, the
you
blurb.
well, yeah, but I don't read blurbs. No, but like if you if you go into like a bookstore and you see, like they're all in a row and you're like, oh, I'll get the first three or whatever, and then
Right.
you're
Yeah.
like, oh, okay,
Sure.
they're all different characters.
Yeah.
Um,
And yeah, you'd want the characters to be like very incredibly likable if you want to
Yeah.
learn more about them. And I feel like with this series, yeah, it's about Noah, Liam, Jax, and Santiago. They're all F1 drivers. Three of them, the three, Noah, Liam, and Jax, they're all described as like the biggest fuckboys in F1. So you feel like, how could their stories be any different to, I suppose, the first book, Throttled? Because it feels like it's the exact same premise. And I feel like all the ladies are significantly younger than them as well.
Yeah.
Gonna be significantly younger than them as well. And it's like, it feels like it's the same story.
yeah.
The men are immature. They want to settle down. They get the girl. The girl doesn't really give a shit about them because of the way they act and how they behave. And then suddenly they find common ground and they live happily ever after. But so how is it going to be any different than Throttled?
I also don't like when an author uses like vulgar language to characterize a character as, like tough or a bad boy or a fuck boy or whatever. It's like there are other ways through actions rather than saying, fucking cunt every other word or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, like you can allude to a character being a quote unquote fuck boy without him explicitly being like, oh, yeah, look at her ass or whatever. Like, yeah, she has a fuckable body, or like going into that kind of thing. Because it's, and especially like you were saying, like in a book where they've outwardly made the statement like, oh, I need to be on the straight and narrow, but then they're in a monologue, still thinking that. It's like, you are not actually making the change.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you expect, an audience to, want this redemption arc or fall in love with this character when they're just being a piece of shit.
Yeah, exactly. This is where, I can't believe I'm going to say this, I appreciate Cooper Hartley in Good Girl Complex a bit more, because he's described as a fuckboy and a bad boy, and like he's one of the nicest guys out there. Like, what do you mean? Yeah. And we were complaining like, how is he a bad boy? He hasn't
exactly. I was going to say, I think we spoke about that when it's like he's described as bad boy and then he's building furniture for girls in his. I think there's a fine line though between like, because he's still like fucked around and stuff and whatever, and he tough exterior, and then he had that softer side, but it's like he wasn't, like, oh yeah, I'm a bad boy, blah blah blah, and he actually wasn't. And it was like, no, like he's made these actions, but that's a like really good example of he's realized, oh, like I want to settle down or whatever with this person.
Yeah, for sure. Can't believe we referenced Good Girl Complex after all this time. Is there anything else you want to say? Like, kind of like about that? Any other sort of DNFing stuff? Because I think I know why people are probably a bit soft around Liam, and that's relating to his prologue chapter. To his trauma, yeah.
Also, books that are very heavily smutty when they're trying to build a story as well, because like I can appreciate smut, like sprinkle it in here and there, but if it's going to primarily be smut, it's like just write graphic porn. Like, I don't know, like
sure, yeah,
like
I
go on to
understand
Wattpad.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's like how people are changing sort of like genre descriptions, like how they say romantasy. Like they want to prioritize the romance over like a fantasy plot, or like have a romance in like a fantasy setting almost. Yeah. And that's obviously where smut's going to come in. But yeah, like if it's just going to be exclusively smut, then just write a full-on erotica novel. Yeah. There's a huge market for that, Yeah. And that's the thing with like Silver Flames as well. Like the smut overrode the plot. What plot was in that book? No one could tell you. But yeah, and you like a good like build up as well, like an appropriate slow burn that aged nicely as well. Yeah. Don't want them fucking all the time. Alrighty, I have a couple of qualms as well. I'll quickly dip into them. Unfortunately, it's about poor Sophie. I know you didn't really get a chance to get to know her that much in this book, Kenzie. But as we know through Throttled, she has a fuck it list. Which is a list of things that she wishes to do to fulfill mainly her like sexual desires. Because she had a bad college experience and she never had a good I don't know, man to fuck her or something like that. It was really something like that. Like no man made her come or something like that. I don't know. And it seems like, I'm trying to find the actual list really quick. But yeah, and it seems like Sophie's there just to talk about her lack of, I don't know, sexual experiences, or like all her bad sexual experiences, and how she didn't have a fun sexual college experience, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, and my qualm is the list seems fucking stupid. In my humble opinion. Where is it? And then it's just the whole, like, you want to have this experience, and yet you want the almost 30-year-old man to be the one to help fulfill it for you.
Mm.
Actually, not all of it's... Alright, I take it back. Not all of it is sexual desires, but a lot of it is very sexually themed. So, I'll read a fuck it list. So, go skinny dipping. Like, that's fine. And she's 21 at this point. Buy a vibrator. That's fine. Try foreplay with ice. I think that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Kiss a foreigner is fine, because she's, you know, amongst all the drivers now. She's going to be touring with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Do karaoke while drinking. That's the tamest one there. That's fine. Try new food. Go skydiving. And then we get to the nitty gritty. Watch porn. Fine. Play strip poker. Get tied up. Be blindfolded. Come from oral sex. Try mirror sex. Have sex in public. Have sex against the wall. Get high is fine. Have a quickie. Have outdoor sex. And kiss someone in front of the Eiffel
Is that not the
Tower.
same as having sex in public?
Sure. I don't know. And then experience multiple orgasms in one night. So, like, some of them are pretty fair. But I guess the overly, like, sexual ones are like, when you get a partner that you're comfortable with, you would inevitably tick these off anyway. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You don't need to... It's not like, this is a do or die, it's going to ruin my life if I don't...
And this
fulfill
isn't a
these.
book that comes across as it's like it doesn't come across as someone trying to reclaim their power by, like, being sexually free or whatever. So it's just like, okay.
So yeah, I just found her list. Like, yeah, oh, actually, yeah, you know what? I'll say a good 50% of the list is, like, fine and reasonable and fair. But then it's just the sexual stuff. And then, yeah, you want the almost 30-year-old guy who is, quote-unquote fucking around, and just, he's going to be the one to fulfill them for you. Piss off, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I would like to... It's hard. I was like, I want to discuss what happened to the point where I called it quits.
Oh, sorry, you
Because,
can
like, a lot of
spoil,
it
I'm not going to read it.
is pretty... So the book starts in a prologue, which is 3 years ago. 3 years before the book of start of Throttled, I would assume. Sophie turned 18. She's an artist. She wants to do art as her career, but her father's like,
What sort of art? Like painting or?
Yeah, painting.
Oh, boring.
Boring.
Get a real job.
Get a real job. Become a starving artist for the rest of your life. No, but Daddy owns Bandini. So he gets to foot the bill. And I thought this was going to be cool because we got more insight on Team McCoy. And I realised in Throttled I kept saying car brand and I knew it was Team, and I don't know, it irks me as I'm editing Throttled and like, the car brand. I'm like, no, it's Team. So yeah, her father wants her to do a business degree. She does a business degree. We love that. So in this prologue, she's a face painter at, I don't know, a family friend's kid's birthday party. And this is where she meets Liam for the first time. She paints his face. Cute, fun, whatever. Or someone else kind of reveals that he's an F1 driver, and then Sophie has to pretend like she doesn't know like what that is because her dad's the big boss. Yeah. And it turns out, you know, we learn a little bit about Liam in this moment. He likes reading, which is cool, which is not very fuckboy of him. And he likes to read Brandon Sanderson.
Oh, nice.
Which is cool. Alrighty, and then we switch to Liam's chapter. Yeah, Dual Pov. We love that. This was 2 years and 5 months ago, so obviously a year and 5 months after, I guess, the 3 year. Anyway, we get to learn a bit about Liam's home life, which you would think this situation would have humbled him as a person, you know? I hate to say it, it is pretty harsh, but... Anyway, he has a brother named Lucas. Lucas has a wife named Joanne, and it turns out Joanne and Liam have been best buds since like high school. We love that. So they have a special relationship.
Nice.
Joanna is pregnant. In this moment, it's like her water's broke and they're on the way to the hospital, and they already have a daughter named Elise. So Liam is an uncle, and he's about to be an uncle again. Fun. Love that. Then we go to Sophie's chapter, and this is where she pretty much materializes her bucket list. Or, yeah, naughty bucket list. She finds it on Pinterest. How typical.
Typical.
I'm sure there are better ways to find your bucket list.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, anyway, we get to Liam's next chapter. Nope, I skipped some. Anyway. Could have been the same chapter. Anyway, Joanna is in hospital. Turns out I don't know how to put this. Like, she ends up dying in hospital, giving birth. But the baby survives. and it's named Kaya. So now Liam has a bit of a breakdown because he's lost his ultimate best friend. And it's one of those moments where it's like, the way he describes his grief is that it's more important, his grief is almost more important than Lucas because he lost his best friend and he introduced them. So I don't know, it's just that weird sense of like, my suffering is greater than yours.
Yeah.
He's also forgetting the fact that, you know, Lucas has lost a wife and he's lost the mother of his child, and like the new baby and like the children have lost their mother.
But he lost his best friend.
It was a very selfish outlook, and like in the moment, I get it. Like, I'd be pissed off too and angry at the universe for allowing it to happen. But I think he has a talk with his father. Like, he breaks down in front of him and he's like trying to get his shit together. He's like, what about me? Like, I lost my best friend, blah, blah, blah. And I don't know, he kind of resents Lucas in that moment as well because of the whole, he introduced Joanna to Lucas, and if he didn't do that, then she wouldn't have died. You know, that type of rabbit hole mindset. Yeah. And then it's in the now present, and it's revealed that he slept with, his boss's niece. She's Claudia, spreading gossip and news amongst the media, and Liam is getting into trouble with that. Thus, I need to keep my dick out of the media. Let's put it on a t-shirt.
How about, like, okay, I see I need to keep my dick out of the media, and I raise you, how about I just keep my dick out of everything that walks?
Sure, yes. I mean, I would agree with that.
I'm just saying.
I would agree with that. And so, Lucas is in constant meetings with his manager and his team bosses and stuff because his contract is in the process, I guess, of being renewed. And so now it's in absolute jeopardy unless he cleans up his behaviour and has, like a straight and narrow season, focus on winning, blah, blah, blah. Everybody's happy.
You know, I hate all these, it's always sportsmen, because I never hear any scandals about sportswomen. But in real life as well, how they'll do these absolute, like, outrageous, like, they'll be bad boy, like, let's, like, Nick Kyrgios be just a bad boy. And then they just get chance after chance after chance after chance because they're good in their field. And it's like, if a woman was to do this, she would be cancelled, she would be fired from a sport, like...
I see that all the time. It's like, I'm going to bring this back to, like, the YouTube era, though, for a second. Like, how many men in the YouTube space have been cancelled?
Yeah.
And
shall we talk about...
made a renaissance. But I want to say quickly, but Jenna Marbles, I don't even know what she did, but it drove her off the internet forever. And she is, like, not coming back. But she did something that's probably not as bad as what all these other male guys have done. And yet she is just like, goodbye.
Yeah. Let's talk about James Charles.
Okay, yes.
Because
like
he's
the
on
TikTok
actual...
I sent you?
Yeah. He's on, like, actual illegal shit, and he got cancelled for a little bit or whatever. And then Tardy came and, like, did her whole, like, bi sister thing or whatever.
That
and,
was
like,
epic.
Yes, I know. And, like, yes, she's a fully grown woman or whatever.
Yeah, I know.
But it's like James Charles still made these decisions, and he still acted in an illegal manner.
Yeah, allegedly.
Allegedly. Anyway, on several different alleged occasions. And then but she was the one who, like, got cancelled.
Yeah.
Or also there was that swim team who won a relay and they jumped in the water to celebrate, but they didn't realize, well, the race hadn't finished yet, so other people were still racing.
Oh.
Do you remember that? It was like a women's team.
Was it the Australian women's team?
I think it was the Australian
women's team. We have a
team.
pretty good swim team. Oh, no.
Yeah. Anyway, it was one of them. Anyway. And then, it was all like, they shouldn't get their medals, blah, blah, blah. Like, they messed up the race.
Unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, and it's like, they'd already won. Like,
yeah.
Anyway.
It's over for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
But like, Nick Kyrgios can smash 8 rackets and he's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, there's a huge double standard.
It was like, there was this, when I was playing hockey, there was this kid on, because it was mixed, and every single game, he would, like, smash a stick. Like, because he'd get so mad that he'd smash and break a stick or whatever. This is on a different team. Anyway, and then it's like, but if one of us got mad and swore, then we'd get, like, red carded.
Yeah, it seems like women get punished for a lot of behavioural things that we often accept from men.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate, but it's true. And men seemingly are allowed the space to come back as well and do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
It's like football players. Like, there's a old football player named Wayne Carey. He allegedly has domestic abuse issues, but he's been a commentator on Channel 7 and all that stuff for the longest time. But only this year, I forget what actually happened, but they've actually had to stand him down because of these charges they keep getting brought up.
Oh, no.
And it's like, why are we giving these abusers, like, platforms, and why are they allowed to get a second chance? But if a woman were to do it or whatever, like, yeah, it should be off the screens forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just we never see a lot of like female athletes, I guess, doing wrong stuff. Not to say that they don't do it, but and like just footy players in general, they can get done for doing drugs during pre-season, but they're allowed to come back regardless. Yeah, it's bullshit. I suppose Liam is the same in this sort of circumstance, but obviously without his racing career, where's the plot?
Yeah. I don't know, the redemption arc, that's where the plot is.
But yeah, ultimately I got up to the part where they went karaokeing in China, and Liam will help Sophie with the fuck it list, and that Claudia is becoming an issue. So that's all I got up to, and I was like, yeah, I can't do this.
See ya.
See ya. Bye. I don't know, it felt good though, because again, like I feel like I gave it a bit of a chance. 8 chapters, it probably isn't a lot of pages, but it's still in the foundation of the story, and yeah, I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But no, it's crazy. People will DNF books over like the smallest things, and yeah, I felt like I had to give it like a red hot crack, and I did.
Proud of you.
Oh, thank you. I did it for us, Kenzie. I did it for you, so you didn't have to.
Didn't I do it for you?
But then, because I also feel like I paid for it, so I may as well finish it.
I got Kindle Unlimited.
Oh, did you? Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Yeah, so mine was free.
Oh, cool. Oh, it must be nice.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit free on that.
Yeah.
Well, I keep seeing discourse as well about, I don't know how accurate it is though, I think Amazon is paying authors less, and like, so Kindle Unlimited, they're getting paid like a little bit less from Kindle Unlimited and all that stuff.
Oh no. Have you seen all this stuff about Etsy as well? Like artists are mass exiting.
I wouldn't blame them.
Yeah.
It's becoming too much of like a drop shipping.
Drop shipping, yeah.
Like, you're losing the artistry of the individual craft, but now it's all, like, printify and print on demand and all that shit.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're into that, like, good for you, but yeah. So, are they just going to create another platform, or do they have to, like...
I think they're just creating individual websites, like their own business website.
I suppose that's fair.
Yeah, and then it's just, like, word of mouth and, like, TikTok, like, advertising their content, and then, going to their... I know, I like the ease of, like, I'm specifically looking for, like, this type of bookmark or whatever, and then, like, you have all of them instead of, like, I have to now really search.
And then it comes down to, like, who's on top of the search list, and then they're probably going to get them most traffic.
Yeah.
That sucks. I got a lot of cool knickknacks from Etsy.
Yeah, same.
A lot of gifts for people.
I mean, I'm sure, like, it's still going to be there.
But if it's been
just
a
more
mass...
of the niche things.
Yeah, if there's going to be a mass exodus, then... Isn't there deviant art?
Yeah.
But I suppose that's just for drawing artists and not exactly craft artists.
Oh, my friend made stickers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I think would Pinterest be a viable...
Yeah, that directs you to people's
maybe?
Websites as well. I buy a lot of knitting patterns from Pinterest.
Nice. I didn't even know you knitted.
Okay. We digress once more.
We digress. Trying to fill in this episode a little bit. But I suppose it is what it is, I guess.
I am about to do something dastardly.
Did you want to announce to the world what happened to you this week?
Yes, but also I'm
yesterday?
unfollowing someone. Yeah. I got married yesterday.
Yay, congratulations, Kenzie. We love to see it.
I'm very excited. I'm just so tired.
Yeah.
I was saying I feel like I'm more tired today than I was yesterday because I think all the adrenaline is now gone.
Yeah. And, like, all the stress and anxiety leading up to it.
Uh-huh.
No, I get that. When you're, so excited for something and you put a lot of work and effort into it and then you do it and then, the next day is just reset mode.
Yeah, and I've been telling people, like, all, like, the decision-making of, like, what song I'm going to walk down the aisle to or whatever, like, didn't even matter because my heart was so freaking loud in my head that I couldn't even hear the song anyway. Yeah, literally, like, I was about to walk out and my brother's like, how are you feeling? Because my brother's walking down the aisle. And I was like, I feel like my heart's going to fall out my ass.
We love that.
And they're like, you can still turn around.
Oh, no. I can't believe they suggest that.
They're like, what if we carry you?
Aw, see, they were willing to do whatever it took to get you down there. And that's adorable.
Yeah.
We stand your brothers. So, yes, massive congratulations to Kenzie.
Thanks.
It's finally happened.
That's finally happened.
Actually, I can't be bothered looking up a summary for what happened in Collided because right now
I'll do it.
Care. I don't care, Kenzie, anymore. Although one of the reviews I found has given me some insight into what happens in this book.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that once we get to gaze upon what's written in the stars, or the stars that listen.
Series Wikipedia.
There are people who are so strict when it comes to DNFing a book. It could just be one little thing, and it's like, nah, fuck it. I'm like, I'd soldier on, but I've soldiered on too long. But yeah, it had its potential. I wanted to see if there was any sort of emotional sort of resolution with the losing of Joanna, and if Liam and Lucas rectified their relationship.
I can't really find like a synopsis. So, an actual like.
A lot of it's our reviews, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure the fuck it list smut scenes are probably great. I don't know.
Okay, before we digress too far, let's kind of bring it back to the book, the reason why we're here. And let's go over to the stars that listen. Although I feel kind of bad about, like, doing the stars because I didn't read the book, but it's funny still, so.
Yeah, it's funny. And for those who are new here, we've started a new little segment where we get to read 1-star review and a 5-star review from Goodreads. We're going to do the 1-star first because we want to end on a positive note. Considering the context of this episode, we want to finish on a positive note. And so... do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first. I also have 2 1-stars because I couldn't pick because they're both really good. I also feel like really validated in my choice to like not finish based on like the amount of 1-star versus 5-star reviews. So
from what I saw, I thought like the 5-star reviews was a lot more overwhelmingly in the lead than 1-stars.
Nah, I think they're just longer.
That's very fair.
Yeah. All right. So my first one is, this book would have been infinitely better if every single character died.
Oh my god, that is so
which is funny because I see that all the time, like on the like TikTok slideshows, and when it like tells you like the different like funny 1-star reviews, and so many of them was like, yeah, this would be better than that. And then my other 1-star review is, there's no way Liam is written by a woman.
That's mine. Oh! That is so funny. Because that is exactly what pissed me off almost. It's like, why are you writing a guy that speaks like that about women? It's like, it's completely misogynistic. And you're a woman who wrote him.
Okay, well, you can do the 5-star review person.
Alrighty, my 5-star review. I just don't even know what to say. I adore Sophie and Liam. Really? Everyone needs a friend who loves you, wants what's best for you, and pushes you past your fears. But the way he sexualized her really early on really ground my gears. That was just me. Anyway, that's my favorite part of their story, and it's only improved by their happily ever after. I was so proud of Sophie after speaking up about her issues with her dad and how she wanted to change her path. Her relationship with her dad is so good, you guys. Every interaction they had was perfect. That's what it says.
I know.
And the epilogue was everything I didn't realize I needed for them. Perfect story.
I really hate, like, I enjoy the idea of, like, your partner is your best friend or whatever, but also, like, your partner shouldn't be your only best friend. You should have, like, another best friend, because, like, like, when they piss you off, like, who do you bounce to?
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so I couldn't find any 5-star reviews that I liked.
You disagreed.
And that weren't essays.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I just found a 3-star review.
Okay, a good medium.
Yeah.
Happy medium.
Racing to the next book. Get it? Racing. Haha. That's what they said. Like they said, the background. Yeah, they said haha.
Yeah. God damn. I'm definitely not racing to the next book because I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care about Jax. We probably got to know him a little bit more in this book, and I really don't care about Santiago getting a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Either.
I don't care for Santiago.
I suppose I appreciate all the readers out there who have finished the series. Like, you do you. It's your cup of tea. It's great, but unfortunately this particular book was not for me.
Yeah.
And may this be the first of many potential DNFs we have in the future, because I am definitely not going to soldier on anymore. I'm definitely, as soon as the character that says something stupid or the plot is, I feel like, is completely silly, I'm just gonna become a stubborn bitch and be like, actually no, not stubborn. I'm just gonna let it rip.
And that is your right.
And that is my right. Yes. And that concludes this episode of Letterboxd Book Club.
Yeah. Thank you for listening.
If you've come along this far, sorry for the super judgy vibes, but like, it is what it is.
Anyway, you know the drill. Find us on Instagram at letterboxd_book_club, and then from there, link is in the bio to our link tree where you'll find us in all the places.
And next week we are continuing on with our dark fantasy romance books. it'll be Twisted next week, I think, if my mental gymnastics is correct. So yeah, keep an ear out for that. And yeah, perhaps, I don't know, let us know if you DNF this book as well, or tell us what we're missing.
Yeah.
Maybe one day we'll circle back and give it a second chance. Thanks for listening. Until next time, goodbye.
Bye.